So fun.
It is.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Courageous Love podcast, the very first episode. I am over the moon excited to have my wonderful friend, Tajuana Hill, launch this with me and partner with me, as you always do. We were talking just before we hopped on here about what it takes to do something for someone else. And oftentimes it requires us to be willing to do it for someone else before we will do it for ourselves. And what I was going to say is that's the reason why this podcast exists, because you have to courageously love yourself first in order to be willing to do things for other people.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And we want to do it the opposite. I want to courageously love you. Because that's what feels right. I was born, we as humans are born to give, and we want to do for other people. But if we're not filling our cups up, we are not capable, which flows right into who you are, what you're doing. But before we jump into Tajuana, I want to share a little bit more about my vision around courageous love.
Yes.
So this is a show where we talk about how we uncover you. You will hear testimonials and stories of what happens when you start uncovering who you are. You start digging up those gifts and talents. You start learning about your core values. And I want people to have a platform to share. This is how I stumbled upon them, because a lot of times people aren't looking. They stumble upon them and like, oh, I'm actually really good at that. That's unique to me.
Yes.
And then they start using them, and then they have this awareness, and now you can see that you're making an impact in the world around you.
Yes.
I literally live inside of connection and community, and I will have watched people, as well as myself, do this. I've watched them through leadership trainings, through conversations, through spiritual awakenings, uncover these things. And so, Tajuana, tonight, you're the very first person that when I prayed, I'm going to launch this podcast, God, who goes first? Who goes first?
Thank you, Amber.
You're so welcome.
Gosh, what a privilege.
Well, you're in the world creating kind humans. So
doing my best.
Yes. So for those of you who do not know Tajuana, she is the creator of Kind Humans. She is a podcast host of What the Quote, where we talk about being kind humans. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mom. But most importantly to me, you're a sister in Christ.
Absolutely.
And I am so thankful to have you on the show and to be with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited. I even left work early.
What'd you tell me last week? When things are ordained by God, it's amazing how the flow and how fluid things are and how blessed they can be. And it took a courageous step into me being willing to do this podcast on my own and to go out and say, I have what it takes to do this. There are conversations that I need to lead to help move our community and our world forward. So Here we are. Here we are. So tell us a little bit about you, Tajuana. I shared a little opening, but I would love to hear from you. How are you and what are you up to these days?
Well, the main thing that I am doing is getting to know me. And really on every level, and really learning how to be kind to myself. Because in the past, in my effort to please other people, I was really brutal to myself and my the thoughts that I had about myself, my abilities. And so I'm learning to unravel that and surrender this process of learning to love myself first. And it has been a great journey. There have been lots of tears, some laughter, because God can be very funny in how our lives evolve. And so it's so funny, this whole thing about kindness. I've loved random acts of kindness in the past, and that gravitated to creating kind humans, in us being kind to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But during COVID, I realized, oh, we do need to be kind to other people. But first and foremost, I need to be kind to me,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, in every way, to show myself kindness. And so
Yeah.
I've really just been on this journey the last couple of years of um, unlearning and learning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of awarenesses, a lot of triggers,
Mm.
a lot of aha moments, and but it's been beautiful. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I love that. When you talk about crying, there's a lot of that in the evolution of who we are becoming.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like the great cleanse. Growing up, I always thought crying was weak
Hmm.
and that, I shouldn't do it
Yeah.
because it makes other people feel bad, you feel bad. But the human I come out on the other side of a really good cry,
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh, so sometimes it's just a matter of getting that out of your body, that detoxification. And it doesn't always have to
Absolutely.
look like, how we think it does, a good
Yes.
cry every once in a
Yes.
while. And I
Absolutely.
think that we talk about in the leadership course that you and I have done about creating the Michelangelo.
Yeah.
And I would imagine when, you're creating something so stellar, something so beautiful, tears have to be shed because it's hard work.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You know that in June I launched 30 days of
Mm-hmm.
self kindness,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know this for sure, but people may think that I created them, that I created this to teach other people how to be kind to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And while that may be a beautiful byproduct, what I realize is that I really created this so that I could learn and cultivate how to be kind to me.
Mm.
Because I get, as I am thinking and praying about and creating these activities, I am also being impacted by it. Why
Yeah.
am I doing it? What is my intention behind it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about the activity, it's about the energy of the activity, the thoughts of the activity,
Mm-hmm.
and really adjusting how we think, feel, and behave with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a journey, and it takes time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're asking some really good questions. Today's was 10 things that you've accomplished. And I read or listened to you say that. I thought, oh, that's so hard. And it's not because,
Well, listen, you should have been there when I was trying to come up
right,
with
Tyrone?
marketing. I was like, and it's so funny because I was like, okay, yeah, do this, this. And I almost hit send. And then I was like, oh, shoot, I got to do it myself. Like, I can't ask them to do something that I have not do. So let me sit on down and, come up with what I need to come up with.
Mm-hmm. And what a fun activity. And it takes like 5 minutes. Like I say,
Yeah.
it was hard, but I sat for like 30 seconds and was like, oh, I have accomplished raising two really great humans, first and foremost.
Yes.
I have accomplished a career for myself that I'm thriving in. I have accomplished 18 years of an incredible marriage that I have this handsome bald man
Yes.
that has
Yes.
been by my side for 19 years. So
Yes.
there are so many things that we get to be excited about, and it's not wrong to be proud of your accomplishments and to be excited for what you have done, which is a wonderful transition into the topic that the Courageous Love podcast is about, and that is you probably wouldn't have got to this place of creating kind humans had you not done some digging in on who you are and what you're about.
Absolutely. So I want to say one thing before we move on, if I could.
Absolutely.
The beauty of coming up with 10 things that you have accomplished or overcome is because we don't take a moment to think about it. You know what I'm saying? We don't give ourselves credit for the things that we have done. And one of the beautiful things about being an entrepreneur is that there are times where I have to update my bio. And so many times when I do it, I'm like, who is this chick?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because so many times I'm in the doing of it that I don't give my, I just do it and move on to something else.
That's right.
And I
Yeah.
don't appreciate myself for really showing up for myself in the ways that I have in the past. And so I really want us to do more of that, because just like we give our kids and spouses and employees kudos and how they appreciate those when they're heartfelt and authentic, like we need to give that to ourselves first.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's right.
So I'm sorry, I was on a soapbox. Okay.
No, I love your soapboxes. They're slippery and sweet.
Yes.
It's right. It's like updating your resume,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
go through there and you are required to put down the accomplishments that get people's attention and want to strike up a conversation with you.
Yes.
And it can be difficult
Yes.
to pull those things out, but I think it's a great activity for having those on the surface so that you
Yes.
can remember
Yes. And
how great
it's
you
funny.
are.
At first, I was like, maybe I should have him write the obituary. And I'm like, no, maybe we won't do that. But I mean, really, just thinking about like, what do you want your life to be?
Mm.
What, and well, I won't go into that because I know we're going to talk about all that. So
We are going to talk about that at the
yes.
end. So thank you. That was a great
Yes.
lead in. So back to what I previously mentioned, I know that you've done a ton of work to uncover who Tajuana is, to put away the people pleasing, which I know very well.
Yes.
Uncover your innate gifts and talents, and to find out what really matters to you, which what I call core values.
Yes.
What made you even decide to take that path? Why did you need to know?
To be perfectly honest, I think because under my people pleasing, there was unworthiness.
Mm.
I always felt the need to do better, get more, learn, so I've always, I have a library and 99.9% of the books
I know what you're going
are
to say.
nonfiction, self-help, how you coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's what most of them are.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me that has that loves to learn and loves to learn more about myself and to be able to use what I have learned to help other people. But there came a point where, to be perfectly honest, I just felt like something was missing, something spiritually. I grew up in church. I've always gone to church. I've sang in the choir and the praise team and, Bibles. I've done all of that. But my connection with God was not what it needed to be. I had a greater desire to have a unique connection with him.
Mm-hmm.
And to be perfectly honest, I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I know that I have a ton of devotional books. And every January, I start out with the highlighter. But come March the 12th,
we're done.
I don't know what I did with it. I can't find it. And so really, I searched and found this personal development program that was steeped and cemented in spirituality and God and love. And that is really what I devoted the last 2 years of my life to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of transformation, a lot of experiential transformation, which we know a lot
We know
about.
about. Mm-hmm.
And it has changed the rest of my life. I often tell people it's the greatest gift that I've given myself, to
Mm.
work on me in my relationship with God for 2 years.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes, because who you are came from who he is.
absolutely.
So
In
what did
every way.
yeah, so what did you uncover? What do you now know about yourself that you didn't know before?
Well, the beautiful thing is that I am him and he is me.
Oh, amen.
Just like I have a lot of features, um, and idiosyncrasies from my earthly father.
Mm-hmm.
We look alike. You know, he had thick hair, I got thick hair. He had
Mm-hmm.
thick lips, I got thick lips. Our eyes, he was low key. I'm low key, but I love to dance and have a good time. I mean,
Yes, you do.
I have a lot of his characteristics. So just like that, I also have God's characteristics.
Mm.
So I'm loving, I'm capable, I'm worthy. Like everything that he is, I am. And
Mm.
I can stand on that. I call it flat-footed. And knowing that, it's I was thinking today about the fact that I have released working a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have released that because I deserve to experience life with ease, elegance, and grace.
Mm.
And so while I do have to work, I don't have to work as hard as I did in the past. I don't have to do that
Mm-hmm.
because everything he has, I have. He's
Ease,
abundant, I'm abundant.
ease, elegance, and grace.
Yes.
Like that. Well, that just encompasses who you are. You
So that
live
is listen, but that is straight from Iyanla Van Zandt. That is not from me. I
that
just
is.
stole it. But
Isn't it all
I'm gonna give
stolen? I feel
I'm gonna
like
give her
someone,
I'm gonna give her credit.
yes,
She says with ease, elegance, and grace. Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
As I think a lot of people through COVID realized that they don't have to work so hard to have the life that they want to live.
And we are exhausted
Mm-hmm.
from all of that working. People are shocked that, there's so many jobs open and, people are not willing to give up. I am not shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I am not surprised because I was one of those people. I was one of those people who was extremely exhausted.
Mm.
And to be perfectly honest, you could not pay me enough to open
Mm-mm.
up a brick and mortar. You couldn't do it.
Not again.
I would not
No.
do it. And I love Mimosa and the Masterpiece. That's my baby. We still do mobile parties online.
I was going to
Okay,
plug
we
it.
still do mobile parties, but to have a brick and mortar and I, I have surrendered that. I have let that go.
No physical square boxes as babies.
No. Mm-mm.
I think we're tired of being tired, Tawana.
Oh my gosh, yes. We
Tired
are
of being
tired of
tired.
being tired.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So people
Yeah.
are making different choices.
Yes.
People are taking more risks, going out on their own, becoming entrepreneurs, doing the things that light them on fire, that they're more passionate about,
Yeah.
which to me says you're stepping into God's call on your life. It's
Absolutely.
not about the position, it's about your purpose. Stole that one from Transformation Church too.
Yes.
Um it's you just can't live in the mediocrity anymore.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's just not acceptable.
Mhm.
COVID, there was a lot of heartache and heartbreak in COVID.
Mhm.
in that whole process. But I believe that it was just what a lot of us needed to shift
Mm-hmm.
and to make different choices and really to, like you said, step into our purpose because
Mm-hmm.
that is why we are here.
Mm-hmm.
We are here to change the lives of other people.
Yes.
And it requires that we get out of our own way,
Mm-hmm.
that we move past the fear, move past the wanting to get it perfect.
Mm.
You got to be an expert before you do it. Like all of that is just in the way. It's all in the way. Because nobody cares, nobody cares that there's it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Except
so
you.
exactly. And it's so funny. So I love TikTok. Yeah.
Said no Gen Xer ever except for
Listen,
Tawana.
TikTok gives me life. I'm telling you.
I love
Because
it.
listen, I'm dancing, singing, lip sync. I'm doing everything on TikTok. But it's so funny. In some of the videos, when people get on, they're like, "Excuse my hair, excuse my lip, or excuse," and I'm like, I didn't even notice that. It's like had they not said it, I never would have noticed it. And so you may be focused on the fact that, let me make this. In the past, I would have been focused on the fact that I said 3 times. Nobody even heard me. Nobody heard me say 3 times. Nobody. People are listening to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see me with the critical eye that I see myself with.
Mm. So good.
I mean,
That
yeah.
is so true. We are our own
TikTok, everybody.
TikTok plug. Did you do the TikTok video with the coach and the girl with the pigtails?
I did. I just put it up.
Okay. I've been
I
looking for
did.
it.
I
I'll
did.
have to go searching for it because I'm excited to see this. It's so creative. Tawana, you're one of the most courageous, creative, loving humans on the planet. And I know why God brought you into my life and why we're friends. And what, because the other part of understanding and knowing who you are in him is what you're supposed to do with that and how you're supposed to show up in the world and the impact. Yes, you said it. We are not supposed to do it by ourselves.
Yes.
And so I see us
Yes.
doing life together, making an
Yes.
impact and helping people create the life they want to live, be the people they were created to be, and expand the kingdom of God.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing about that. So creativity comes very easy to me. But there's also a part that does not come very easy to me that requires that I step out of the box. So it's not just about me being creative because I have created lots of things in the past. But what I believe my stretch is now is to talk about the things that I have created.
Mm.
Just like those accomplishments that I don't do often enough. When people find out that I've done as much as I've done, they are like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
And so what it is requiring of me now is to talk about, because that is creating, it is not me stepping out of my comfort zone.
No.
That may be somebody else's
Mm-hmm.
box, but that's not mine because I can
Mm-hmm.
create all kinds of stuff. The part that is me stepping out of my comfort zone is starting a podcast where
Mm-hmm.
where I talk,
Mm-hmm.
telling people that I own a business, because for 6 years I didn't tell anybody that I own Mimosa and a Masterpiece. I told people that I was the hostess with the mostest.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That is crazy. Because we're
Yes.
all out here like, she's an entrepreneur. She's a female, business owner, all these things. And you're over here like,
Took me
I'm just a
six
hostess.
took me 6 years. Now, if you came into the studio and asked who owns this, I would say me. But if you said, who are you? I would say, I'm the hostess with the mostest. 6 years. 6.
And
So for
and
me,
almost to the day that
yes,
you figured that out, you took it out of a brick and mortar and made it virtual.
I mean, but that's why all of our journeys looks different.
Mhm.
For me, it is about putting myself out there, doing the thing, not creating the thing, because I can do that. For
Mhm.
me, it's about talking about it. It's about when somebody asks me how much something costs, I tell them the price out of my abundance,
That's right.
not out of my scarcity.
That's right.
That's where my practice is.
Mm.
My practice is really um, standing up for myself,
Mhm.
and not in a this way, but just if I don't have time to do something, saying, I'm sorry, I don't have time to do it. It's not me
Mhm.
stretching it because I don't want them to be mad. And, it's not that. It's really me honoring myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
I love that.
thank you.
I love that. I think that that's a heavy lift,
It is.
Tajuana. Like that's a whew. And today, after knowing all of this, after, putting yourself out there the way that you have in the last 2 years, I've seen the evolution, I've watched the transformation, and I'm so proud of you. Not that you need me to be proud, but I
Thank
am
you.
excited to partner with you in what you are doing in the world. It's
Thank
an
you.
invitation. Look, we live in a really hateful world. You mentioned it last week, while we have lived through a
Yeah.
pandemic,
Yeah.
the world is in a really raw and vulnerable place.
And that is because we as individuals are at a raw and vulnerable place,
Mm-hmm.
because I treat other people the way I treat myself.
Mm,
So if I'm loving to myself and I'm kind to myself, then it's easier for me to be kind to other people. And
mm-hmm.
even when they're not kind to me, to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I don't know what they've gone through.
That's right.
But that requires that when I mess up, I give myself the benefit of the doubt, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't beat myself up. I don't use harsh and abrasive words because I made a mistake. Because I would
Yeah.
not do that. I would not use those words with Andre. I would not use those words with Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so
That is
I
so
get to
true.
be gentle with myself.
And that takes courageous love.
It does. And I'm learning how to do it. You know, like,
Funny how that's not something that is innate to us.
yes.
Weird.
It's
Like,
so funny. A couple of people were laughing because when I was doing some videos for TikTok, and one of the things that,
oh God, I love you.
one of the things that I told people, a way to be kind to themselves, I hope this is not too abrasive, but was stop holding your pee, go to the bathroom. You you're not being nice to yourself. When you
Mm-hmm.
have to use the bathroom, go to the bathroom.
That's right.
It's
And in
simple.
the world of COVID, we don't even block in bio breaks. Like, how many times have I went from one meeting to the next and held it? Or, I mean, it is
Yes.
menial, but it is actually a really great point that we just don't to not be disrespectful to the next person who's on the other side of the screen. You hold it and then you're uncomfortable. And then then it's a
Right.
ripple
And
effect
you're
of all.
disrespecting your body.
Yeah.
You're not being kind to you. Your body is a great machine that's like, hey, I have to go to the bathroom. And you're
Mhm.
like, wait a minute. I got a meeting.
There's something more important than
Okay, wait
you.
a minute. Can't do that right now. I mean,
Mhm. That's a big deal.
yes. I mean, let's just go to the bathroom. Just,
Make time for
I mean,
yourself. I mean, for some of us moms, that's the only quiet time we get. So,
exactly. And so, even as it relates to kindness, like we want to get our nails done and our feet done, and that's great.
mhm,
I'm all for that. I'm all for a great mani pedi, but I also want us to pay attention to the thoughts that we think about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are we just doing the same thing today that we did yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're thirsty, our body is telling us to drink some water. Like, are
Mm-hmm.
you listening to that?
Mm-hmm. I think that brings up a really good point about listening to ourselves,
Yeah.
period.
Hmm.
Because I spent a lifetime, because I'm 40 now, so a
A beautiful
lifetime
thing.
listening. Thank you. Thank you very much. Uh, a lifetime of waiting for someone else to tell me about myself,
Yeah.
to tell me who I am, to tell me what I'm supposed to do, to tell me how great I am. It's exhausting. And then you've got to unwind all of that talk, all
Yes.
of that self-talk, because you're not actually any of the things
Yes.
that those
And
people.
it's so funny because one thing that I have an awareness of now is I am with me more than I am with anybody else.
True.
Like those thoughts are running rampage, you know, they're just rampantly running,
Yeah.
through my head. And so if I am with me most of the time, I really need to be my own best friend. Like
Oh,
I need to be the one that I can count on.
that's
I
so
need
true.
to be the one who I can be there when I fall down. We talk about um, husbands or wives or kids having a gentle place to fall in their home. Like I need to
Mm-hmm.
be my own gentle place.
Mm.
And it
Yeah.
requires, it's not something that we're taught, because we are taught to be, you know, wear this, don't do that, be this way, don't say that, say this. And none of that is really teaching us how to have more of a connection with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm like you, I love the connection with other people. I love having, the kinds of conversations that we have. I love
Mm.
that. But that connection that I have with you, I also want to have with myself.
That's incredibly insightful.
Yeah.
And when you have that type of relationship with yourself, guess what? That means you have that relationship with God.
That part right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That part right there.
What a revelation. I keep getting the feedback, be kind to yourself, because it's not hard for me to be kind to somebody else.
Why is that though? Why? Because I'm still trying to figure that out. Why is that?
Because we're martyrs. I don't know. Like, oh, I can't be kind to myself and be kind to you. It's one or the other. It's like the sacrificial lamb or something. And it's just not true.
I
You
mean,
don't have to
I'll
have
tell
that.
you this. There were so many years that I didn't even realize that being kind to me was an option. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was so deeply seated in the whole people pleasing that I literally had to learn what I did like.
Mm-hmm. I hear
Because
that a lot. You
if
didn't
you
know.
like football, I love football. You want to play tennis? Oh, I like tennis. And it's like, well, no, man, no, I don't like tennis.
No,
No,
no.
no.
The worst thing that I have seen or even experienced in my youth is becoming like the things that your significant other likes. Becoming that person. Well, in order for them to like me or love me more, I got to become the things. And one of the greatest things that my husband and I ever did was like take inventory. These are the things that you like to do. He loves fantasy baseball. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Like, you go do that because I want no. Here, I'll provide the Zoom link. You go do the
Yes,
thing. Like, I want no part.
yes,
But you know what we do love to do together?
right.
Golf. We
Nice.
did not know that
Yeah.
we like to golf.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he's so patient and
Mm-hmm.
he's so kind to me because
Yeah.
I'm not very good yet.
Takes
Yet.
practice.
That's right. I'm getting there. as my friend Rebecca would say,
Yes.
yes, you are. Give yourself
Yes.
a little credit. You've been out
Mhm.
here one time, right? But it is something that we love to do together,
Mhm.
and it is okay that we are different.
It is.
He is that soft place to land, and
Yes.
I'm that sassy little feisty girl from the
Yes.
east side. Like,
Yes. Yes.
and I don't have to apologize for being that girl.
Mm-mm. Nope.
And I don't have to be
No.
mad when my kids go to dad because they're looking for this reaction and they
Yes.
come to me when they're looking for something else. And that's what I mean when I
Mhm.
talk about we're sitting inside of our own gifts, our
Mhm.
own beingness, who God created us to be and who we are in Him, so that we can show up, be kind to ourselves, and be kind to the people in our theater, in
Yeah.
our lives.
Yes. And here's another thing as it relates to that. This is my own thoughts about it. In your desire to do your passion and to get closer to God and to really live the life that you created, it requires some inventory. It
Mm.
requires you to really look at your life and the hand that you played in that.
Mm.
Not from a place of um, judgment, but from a place of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So here's an example. In the past, people like to talk to me. I'm a cheerleader. I get it. I want everybody to win. I do. I'm right there for you. All of that. But what I realized is people felt close to me because they thought I listened. But I didn't feel close to people because I wasn't sharing. And now what I am aware of and that I really try to, really step out of my comfort zone is share more of who I am, which is why the
Mm.
podcast is there, because that was not helping me feel connected,
Mm.
helping me feel connected.
Mm-hmm.
And to be absolutely honest, it doesn't feel comfortable me talking about me and what I think and what I want to do, and it doesn't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I still get to do it
Mm-hmm.
because that is me getting out of my comfort zone. If I want connection, I used to blame people for not caring about me, but
Mm-hmm.
really it didn't have anything to do with them.
Nope.
Because even when they ask me, well, how was your day? I'll be like, fine. How you doing? Great.
Mm-hmm. I'm so good.
I'm awesome. I'm blessed. When really what I needed to say was, I had a really hard day at work because this, that, the other, such and such, blah, blah.
Mm.
It's me. I have to do the work to have the life that I desire.
Mm. Tajuana, that's so. And the other part of that I would just add is that if you're not opening up about who you are, people don't know how to meet you where you are. People don't know how to share their gifts with you if you show up in a world being inauthentic.
And it's creating a distance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not creating connection.
That's right.
So you're absolutely right. You're
That's
absolutely
right.
correct.
I see our gifts like a rope, the two-stranded rope.
Okay.
That when I'm giving to you and you're giving to me, and they wind around each other and you pull it
Yes.
tight,
Yes.
then all those strands together become a stronger piece of rope, a
Yes.
stronger, that will hold
We're
the next person.
intertwined.
Right. Like
Yes.
I see that vision came to me when you were speaking, and
Yes.
it's necessary for you to show up in the world who you are and be open and honest about who you are,
Yes.
because no one's judging you around
Abs-
who you are or who you aren't,
Absolutely. Because
except
they're
for you.
judging themselves.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
So true.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's I think, even with myself, I don't remember the exact scripture in the Bible, but it says, get the log out of your own eye first.
The stick. Yep. Get the
Yeah.
stick out of
I
your
was
eye.
saying sometimes it's easy to see somebody else living their passion and doing their work. And Brene Brown talks about people being in the arena. When you're not in the arena, stumbling and falling and crying and being triggered and having awarenesses, it's easy to not do anything
Mm-hmm.
and to judge the people who are doing things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a blessing to be able to look in the mirror and do your own work, because only you can do it. That's why that self-care, self-happiness, self-kindness, all the other selves, that's where that comes in there, because you are the self. That's true. You are the self.
Mm-hmm. You're the only one that can do the work, but you don't have to do the work alone.
Absolutely.
So I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and we suffer in silence.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that we can't purge on someone. Or like you said, when someone asks me how I'm doing, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Deep down inside, I'm like, I am so mad. But like when we went to dinner last Thursday, I was all in my feels.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can tell because energetically something ain't right with you. What's going on? So
Absolutely.
you drew it out. You don't feel any less of a human. You don't feel heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Your gifts enabled me to make a shift and a transformation in my own life to help me remember who I was.
Absolutely.
People, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is what I'm telling you. That's why I love connection. That's why I believe in community. And that's why this podcast exists, is because it's necessary.
Absolutely.
For us to know who we are so we can be who we need to be for others,
Yes.
so that we can go out in the world and do the things we need to do.
Yes.
So
we are each other's greatest example.
Yes.
When I see God working in and through your life, it's an example for me.
That's right.
Like, oh, okay, he can do it that way too.
Yeah. Okay.
He's blessing her. We real close.
We are real close.
He is in the blessing neighborhood.
He is right there with us.
He is right around the corner. Yes.
Yeah. So I have two things. I have one more question for you that I want you to leave the audience with. And then, because you are the quote queen, I have a quote that I want to leave you with.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. That was inspired by you. That it was, find the quote of your life that is threaded within your soul. And it's a very funny story how it came to be. But before we do that, I want to, now that you know all of this and you are where you are today, so what would you leave behind for the rest of us if you were moving on to your forever place?
I would leave the importance of connection. I would leave the cultivation of kindness and some dance moves.
I'm dancing.
Because, that's what I like to do.
Dancing.
But really just really to help people to understand that we are here to connect with God, ourselves, and each other. And a great avenue to do that is through kindness to ourselves and to other people. Mm-hmm. That would, just the awareness of all of the different ways that you can be kind to yourself and other people.
It's going to change the world.
I think so.
One human at a time.
Absolutely.
Kindness. And kindness looks so many different ways for so many different people. And there is no right or wrong answer. So just be kind, right?
I was in I was in Aldi's today, and there was um, an elderly lady in front of me, and she just had a couple of packages, and so I already knew I was going to pay for it. But there was a part of me that was like, "Can you go get some more groceries?" You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was like, because she had like 3 items, and so I told the cashier, I was like, "I'm going to pay for hers." But it was like $5. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but she was so appreciative and all that, but I wanted to do more for her. And she was like, "Wow, my birthday's next week." I was like, "Well, happy birthday." But it's really us looking for ways
Mm-hmm.
that we can be kind. Like my kindness radar is up,
Mm.
and I'm looking like, what could I do? What could I do for people?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like gratitude. If you're noting gratitude, you'll have more things to be grateful for.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know?
And I love it because it's a reciprocal win.
Yes.
When it is about us,
Mhm.
because when we do it, then we get spiritually filled up. And it
Mhm.
is about them because when they receive the gift,
Yeah.
they are filled up.
Yes, and
That's
she's
how
not
it's
even
done.
gonna go home and tell her granddaughter, "This lady, hey, she bought me these 3 items at Aldi's."
And you're like, I was trying to buy 15.
You know
Like,
what I'm
what?
saying?
Yeah.
That's
That's okay. That just means you get to bless somebody else the next time and the next
absolutely,
time.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
you blessed who you were supposed to bless today,
Yes.
and you'll be forever, grateful for it. So, I will make sure that you have all of Tajuana's information. You can follow her on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. She's doing the 30 days of kindness
Mhm.
to yourself.
Yeah.
It's super fun to play along. So play along with her because it's amazing what you get out of it. And we're building that online connection, which is
Yes.
kind of a big deal these days.
It is.
So, to leave us, I want to share with you my favorite quote. It's by
Okay.
William Shakespeare.
Oh wow. Okay.
Going way back.
I know.
The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect.
Threaded through my heart, through my veins, through everything. That is what I truly believe we live by. And that's, again, why Courageous Love Podcast is here, is because I want help. I want to help people find who they are sooner,
Yes.
faster, so that they can
Yes.
experience their best self and their best life.
Absolutely.
So
This
thank
this
you.
is listen.
Thank you.
This I am so honored because this is absolutely perfect.
It is.
I cannot wait to see all that is created because you have decided to do this.
Thank
I
you.
cannot wait I'm just going to be sitting.
Number one cheerleader.
That's what I do.
That's right. That's
Yes, that's
right.
what I do.
I appreciate you, sister.
I
Thank
love
you,
you too.
everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for your support through this. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Mhm.
So we will be Facebook living every 2 weeks at 6:30 p.m., but you can find Courageous Love Podcast on all of your Apple Podcast or your podcast platforms here in a couple weeks. And we will be on YouTube as well. So share with your friends. Let's get everybody wrapped around Tajuana and all the great things that she's doing. And have a wonderful week. We'll see you in a few.
Bye.